All right, let's be honest. Talking to people that you've never met before is hard. You don't know if you come across as creepy or not. Sometimes you overthink. Sometimes you're like, oh, what do they think if I say this or that? And you might know what to say, but there's still this friction in the way. So like, what's up? In this video, I'm gonna go over 3 reasons why you're afraid to talk to people and actionable steps on how to actually do this. So let's jump in. Point number 1 here that I wanna mention is change your mindset. Change what you view as a success and what you view as a failure. And instead of equating success to a good interaction, equate success to, did you try? And more specifically, did you express yourself? This mindset has made interactions and starting conversations so much easier for me, because instead of viewing success as, oh, I want this interaction to be good, did I have a good interaction? You view it as, did I express myself? So you can come off as cringe, you can come off as like what you feel isn't right, or you can feel like the interaction didn't go well. But if you look back at it and you ask yourself, did I actually say what I wanted to say? Did I express myself? And the answer to that is yes. Then you count that as a win. Like, that's not a failure. And over time, you'll iterate and you'll learn. So that's the first part to this, is change your mindset to success equals I tried and I expressed myself. And just ask yourself, after every interaction, just ask yourself, did I express myself? And if the answer to that is yes, you win. Now, I know what you're asking. Okay, sure, this mindset change stuff is good. But how do I know if what I'm saying is right? How do I know if what I'm saying is good enough? Well, this is point number 2. Point number 2 is it's not about what you say. It's about how you say it. And this also relates to authenticity. Like when you're talking to someone, you want to give off a authentic, warm vibe. And how you do that is, in addition to expressing yourself, you trust your vibe. So I'll throw down an example to illustrate this. The first stranger interaction I had, I remember this, was the hardest. I was at a bubble tea shop and I wanted to talk to a stranger. And so I sat down and this guy was next to me and he already ordered his drink and there was this kid there. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start off asking him what he ordered. So I did. I asked him what he ordered. And I remember in the very beginning, I was really nervous. But as the conversation went along, I kind of relaxed a little and I stopped thinking so much about what to say, and things just naturally came to me. I was like, oh, you have a kid. Where did you find your partner? We started talking about dating in Vancouver, and it just seemed a lot more natural and it flowed a lot nicer because I stopped thinking so much. And that's when I learned that if you kind of just let it happen, it will just happen. And the actionable step here, like the thing to keep in your mind, is you just have to trust your vibe. You have to trust that what you're going to say is going to be okay. And if you combine this with the first step, which is expressing yourself, I mean, you're just saying what you want to say. And over time, you'll course correct. So knowing what to say is great, but if you come off as like nervous and afraid, if you're like, whoa, what drink did you order, sir? It's not going to be received as well because people will mirror what you kind of put out. So if you're nervous, other people will also feel that and they'll be nervous as well. So you just want to be calm, you want to be confident in yourself, and just really trust your vibe. And remember that it's not about what you say, it's just about how you say it. So at this point, you might have another question. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how will I know that people are open to connecting? Like there might be people out there that just don't really want to talk to me. You know, like there might be people out there that just have a bad day. Well, this is point number 3, which is you want to test for receptiveness. You're right, because not everybody you talk to is going to be receptive. In fact, there's going to be people that have a long day after work and they just don't want to talk to anybody. There's just going to be people out there that are just antisocial and just don't like socializing in general. There might be people out there that have social anxiety. You just don't know. And so for this step, what you want to do is you want to initiate a conversation and you just want to watch what happens. Does the person receive it well? Does the person not receive it well? You can watch their body language. Are they open, kind of like how I am right now? Or are they closed? Are they closed off and like they're just looking at their phone and they have their headphones on and they don't really seem like they want to listen to you or give you their attention, or they reply with like one-word answers. You want to test for receptiveness, and then it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to walk away, because again, comboing this with the first step, if you've expressed yourself, you've won, you've succeeded. You don't need to continue a conversation if you don't want to. You can walk away. So this is something that I've learned over and over again, because not everybody that you meet is going to be open to talking about themselves. And not everybody you meet will be comfortable talking to a stranger. But in the 100+ interactions that I've had, I don't think I've had one interaction where someone was not open to talking to me. Sure, there were different levels, like different people were open to talking about different things. But there was only one interaction that I kind of felt uncomfortable with. Like, I thought that it would be the reverse. I thought that I would make people uncomfortable when I approached them out of the blue and started talking to them. But it was the other way around. And for that conversation, I just left. I was like, this is getting a little sketchy, a little sus. I'm just gonna leave. So that's it for the 3 steps. So to recap, why you're afraid to talk to people. Number 1, this thought of, I don't want to seem creepy, or I don't want to bother people. Just think to yourself, did I express myself? If you say yes to that, that is a success. Don't count successes as a good interaction. Count successes if you've expressed yourself. The second thing, this thought of, how do I know if I'm saying the right thing? Remember that it's not about what you say. It's about how you say it. So to do that, trust your vibe. Don't overthink it. Just start. And this third thought or fear, that people don't want to talk to you because they're not receptive for whatever reason, that's true. That might completely be true. So accept that and test for receptiveness. Know that you can walk away from an interaction if you don't feel comfortable, or if you don't want to continue the conversation. If there's one thing this whole challenge taught me, it's that it completely changed how I viewed talking to strangers and talking to people that I didn't know in general. So for context, I had a little project where I challenged myself to go out and talk to 100 strangers. Before I started this whole project, I thought that nobody really wanted to talk to me, that people were just naturally cold, that people weren't open. But out of 100+ people, everybody was receptive to some degree. Nobody flat out ignored me or walked away. And so that taught me that people were a lot more open to conversation than you might think. If you've never tried talking to strangers before, or if you haven't traveled all that often, because like sometimes you need to talk to strangers when you travel, you might not realize that people are a lot more open to connecting and to actually having conversations than you may think. We're humans, we're social by nature, and that's said a lot around the internet, but until you really experience it for yourself, it's just not the same. Like it's just different once you kind of understand it and experience it for yourself. So I hope these steps help you get out of your comfort zone and feel a lot more comfortable talking to people. The fears you have around this stuff are valid, but people are a lot more receptive than you may think. I hope you use this stuff to connect with someone out there that you wouldn't normally talk to or connect to. Otherwise, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.